Heyo, Stoic here. Hey, welcome to the Bedrock Guide. In this tutorial, we're going to be making a guardian farm. Yep, that's a conveyor again. We're going to take 10 spawn points and convert them all into one Trident killer. You can get from 0 to 30 in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and after an hour, you can get 142 levels. You'll also pull in over 100 stacks of fish, 110 stacks of Prismarine crystals, and 220 stacks of Prismarine shards in 1 hour. All right, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Stoic, that farm doesn't look very big. Well, this is what it looks like. If you want to build it all the way out, and I don't recommend it because there's over 150 minecarts here. That's honestly a bit too expensive. It also adds quite a bit of lag on this area. My computer I think it's okay, and it does pretty good, but I suspect if you're on a console such as Xbox or PlayStation, it might not be able to handle it. The other thing is that once you get up to 3 rows, you're really not gaining a whole lot. Yeah, you're going to gain a couple levels, but you're just not going to, it levels out. It honestly levels out. And so it's not worth building these last 3 rows unless you just want to flex on someone. It's just not worth it. So yeah, we're only going to be building these first 2 rows. All right, quick mechanics. So we are using minecarts to convey our monsters from 10 locations into a single Trident killer. You can see that they're moving pretty quick. I've got a little block on right now. This is a safeguard for when we want to leave the area or jump through a portal. It's important to try to keep them out of this Trident killer whenever you leave the area. The reason why we want to keep them out is because the initial startup of the Trident killer can push them out of this giant box, and we're trying to safeguard against them coming out. This does a pretty good job. They can also wiggle through this little gap down in there, and you'll see it a little later, and you're going to wonder how can those giant things get through, but they can. But we've got a little safeguard here to prevent them from making their way all the way up to our AFK position. When we climb all the way up here, you can see that we just turn this on, and it releases all of the guardians from our area down there, and they're going to make their way into the Trident killer. You can see new ones coming down the line. That means the Trident killer's working, killing everything. And yeah, we're just going to start collecting all of our loot and all of our XP. It should be coming up. Here comes the first batch right now. You can see this thing should just pop right up just like that, and it'll go into collection system behind us. All right, the first thing you need to do is find an ocean monument. By using night vision and water-breathing potions, you need to swim into this maze and kill off the 3 guardians that are inside. Once you've cleared this place of the Elder Guardians, you need to figure out which way is north. We actually know that the sun is setting. Oh, look at that sun. So good. Anyways, we need to find which way is north. The sun sets in the west. That means north has to be this direction. And you can also tell from the Prismarine blocks. There's kind of this tuning fork here, and there's 2 prongs this way. Those point south, and the single one points north. So that confirms that that way is north. All right, the next thing we need to do is spawn proof this area. And to do that, we need to know which way is north and which way is west. And so we can come over to this location in the northwest corner of this build. We're going to find the northwest corner. There it is. We're going to count in diagonally 1, 2, 3 right there. And then we're going to come all the way down till we find gravel, dirt, whatever you want, not Prismarine. We're going to spawn proof. This is a spawn location for the Guardians. So let's go ahead and bring it up all the way to the top. And then there's 24 other locations throughout here. You're going to be fighting drowns and Guardians as you make your way across. So you just got to be ready for that fight. The next location, and that's north, we're going to start going east. And I'm just going to show one example, and then I'm going to show a map of all of the locations so you can do it yourself. So we're going to go from this location where you're going to count out 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then on the 11th one, we can break this, make your way all the way down. See, this one goes a little bit further. We'll bring this all the way up to the top, and then we'll slab it off on the top there. 2 of our 25 locations are spawn proofed. Use the map as it pops up here in a couple seconds to help populate the rest. Once you've got all the pillars in place, you might need to go out and kill a whole bunch of guardians if they're still floating around. That will help tell you if you've got everything spawn proof, so you might want to swim around, see if anything pops up when it gets in range. If you don't see any more guardians, then you did a good job. I have seen some comments from some of you all about some guardians popping up primarily on the southeast corner down here, and I experienced it too, and I think I got a solution for it. So let's move on to the next step. Since we're only working on these two columns right here on the northeast side, we're going to go ahead and put in some glass. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And on all of these, we're just going to go ahead and put in another set of glass blocks. Right here on the northwest corner, you can see that that is north, and west has to be that way. And you can see that that's the northwest. We're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and throw in a piece of dirt right here for later. And we're going to go ahead and do it on the next 9 of these. Okay, we got all that glass and dirt in place. Come to the northeast corner all the way up here, and we're going to place in our Trident killer pad. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. So kind of a 4x4. We'll start filling this in just like this, except for this last part, we'll put in some packed ice. This will be part of our conveying system here. So let's go ahead and finish that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll come this direction to the south. 1, 2. Grab a magma block. There's 1. And then we'll go at 18 blocks to the south. Once you've made it there, the last one, the 19th one, will be a dirt block. We'll make this into a soul sand block a little bit later. But for now, let's keep moving. Go ahead and grab your packed ice, put them right there. Grab some stairs. Any kind of stairs will work. And then we're going to fill this in just like that all the way around. I'm going to bulk this up a little bit so that way we don't have things getting away from us. From here, we're going to actually make our platform 2 blocks wider in all directions. Don't cover up that one right there. And we'll go ahead and 1, 2, just like that. Make sure it's 1, 2 all the way around. Once you've got that in place, yeah, things are looking pretty good. You can go ahead and fill this in. Really beefing this thing up. All right, we're looking just like this, just to keep things nice and level. Let's go ahead and put some glass right here. We're going to come all the way down to where our dirt is, and then we're going to come all the way right back to the start. Everything's nice and even right now, looking pretty good. Grab your water bucket. Let's toss it right there. You can see a water stream's already been created and stops conveniently right there. So we're going to go ahead and put our trapdoor in that location. Again, this is kind of our trap, just in case, a little insurance policy. Go ahead and throw in some water until it stops. We'll throw in a button right there on the side, and then we can throw some more water all the way down to the edge here. Yep, perfect. Look at that. So we still need to put a button here to help block some of the water so we don't have some backflows on our water column. From here, we can go ahead and just build that up by 1 more block and put some glass right over top all the way back to about right here. Go ahead and grab your pistons, and we're going to stand here on these blocks right here, and we're going to put in a temporary block just like that, and our piston will be over top of the water source. Just going to rotate 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and yep, looking pretty good. Go ahead and get your solid blocks. Before you put it any further, grab your magma blocks here. Yep, we're going to put them on the corner. Because we need to use Redstone Dust for this Trident killer, it's just slow enough that our items and our XP can escape. It leaves kind of this open spot, and Guardians like to go in there. So if they like to jump in there, well, we'll make them nice and warm when that happens. So let's go ahead and fill that in. We'll put some Redstone Dust on there. It's hard to see, but it's on there. And fill in the gaps. This last one, we're going to put in a slab just like that, so more of our stuff can make its way through. The next thing we can do is grab our observers, and we'll go ahead and place them on top of the solid block. Make sure the face is facing the Redstone Dust, and the dot is facing the piston. We're just going to go all the way around just like this. Grab your solid block and put that in right here, top of your pistons, and we're looking pretty darn good. From this spot, we can go ahead and throw in our water. We're going to throw it in on that piston. You can see it's waterlogged right now, but it's flowing out the back. So what we can do now is just put a solid block on that side, and it'll force all of our water this direction. I like to do this right now just in case we get things moving. Throw in your Impaling 5 Tridents. You really want to try to get the highest level enchantment on these Tridents. Put in 3 of them. That will make the rates go a little bit faster. And then from here, we're just going to build this up with lots of blocks. Okay, we're starting to look pretty good. This should be the top of the build right now. You can see some of the magma blocks. We've got an opening here for a future water column. And we're going to have to chisel this spot out right here. That way we can turn this thing on and off when we need to. So what we can do from here is go ahead and grab some glass and put it right there. Okay, let's make our way over to our dirt block that's right there. We can go ahead and put in a solid block right here. We're going to have a ladder that goes all the way up. In fact, in case you fall into the water, let's go ahead and put in a little platform right here so you can get right back out. You just use some glass, that way nothing else spawns on it. But from here, we're going to go up to Y85 with solid block on this column and then glass on these 3 right here. So Y85. All right, if you haven't already, go ahead and grab those ladders and put them in right there. All right, we're going to work on storage and our AFK position right now because it only makes sense. So let's go ahead and build this out just like this. So we got a little bit of a platform. Build it out one more on this side so you're 2 blocks away from that spot. In fact, you might want to just put one more right here. I don't know. It just feels easier if it's just 1 block higher than the platform you're trying to get to. When you move to the east over here, let's go ahead and go out 1, 2, just like that. So now we're looking just like this, a nice glass platform for our AFK position. We don't need extra things spawning up here. Plus, it's nice to see what's going on. Once we get to this northwest corner, northwest, we can go 11 blocks total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we'll just come right back the same way we came. And then we'll make our way to the northeast corner right over here, and we'll do the same thing. We'll just come all the way out 11 blocks. Once we've done that, now we can come up and build this up 1 block. And then we'll build it up 1 more just like that. Put in a temporary block right there in the middle. Throw in your slab. This will help us get our XP when we're looking for it a little bit later. We've got this block right here. This will help with our water stream. So build this up 1 more just like that. And now from this location, we're going to go out the same number of blocks so that we're even with this platform. Once we've done that, we can grab our hoppers and we'll go ahead and break that one. Put in some hoppers so that they're facing each other, kind of a line of hoppers here, just like that. From here, we can jump back down into this location, grab your chests, and now we can start populating this. This is just a little bit of storage. I definitely suggest you putting in more storage for long-term use. Grab your hoppers and come on the other side, break that one, and then we can now feed it in to our chests. The next thing we can do is just build this out just like that all the way across. And we're going to jump up here just because. Just jump on up here, no big deal. And come across just like that. We're going to contain some of the water that we're going to put in right now. That'll flow in all the way to the edge, just like that. And then we can put a little barrier in. In fact, I'll keep it off. You'll probably want to put a barrier in on top just to keep things moving faster on your storage system. But I like it on top because it's pretty cool to see it jump up. Next thing you do is just break that block. And now we're going to send water all the way down to that dirt block. With our AFK position in place, you're probably, I would put a portal in up here. That's kind of nice to have. That way you can just jump in, do your thing, leave. That's what I would do. That's just me. So for now, we're going to come all the way back down. We're going to get our redstone line from our Trident killer all the way up here. And then we're going to keep moving. All right, come on over here. We're going to put in a redstone repeater right on that solid block. Go grab some dust and make your way over until you get just past this trapdoor. Grab your redstone repeater. Again, we are forcing this redstone in that direction. We want to make sure you can kind of see this arrow. It's kind of pointing that direction. Make sure you're putting it in the correct orientation or it will not work. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to start building our way up until we get 6 blocks high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to have a nice smooth platform just like that. So what we can do from here is put in another redstone repeater and then put in some redstone just like this. So we got it all connected. Looks like it's all connected. Now we're going to have to start making our way all the way up. And the best way to do that is, now that we've got our ladder right here, is we can just look at the ladder and place some of our blocks. So as we're jumping up, you can place your redstone on there, grab some more glass, put it on top of your redstone. You can even do it like that. You can see that we're going to have a little bit of a platform. Let's go ahead and throw in some dust just like that. And then we'll put our lever in right here. Toss that on there, and now let's illuminate it. You can see that we've got that redstone repeater all the way down there is lit up. We did that perfect. If you're not lit up down there, then you're going to have to take another look at your redstone. So we can toggle this on and off. Now this thing is energized and working. So if anything drops in there, it's going to get chewed up. All right, feeling pretty good. We can make our way back down to our Trident killer. We're going to build this up a little bit more. To do that, we're going to have to put in another layer of blocks just like this right on top of everything. So just go ahead and fill in one more layer, with the exception of this spot, this column, and the 2x2 right here. All right, we built it up by one more block. You can see that we've got the opening there, the 2x2 right there, and a little notch on that spot. Now we're going to build up some of our columns to get them to the levels that we need. So these first 4 on the east side, the sun is rising, we're going to bring all of those columns up to Y69. Once you've done that, let's jump over to these 4 right over here just to the west and put these up at Y69. All right, so these 8 columns are now at Y69, and I'm using solid blocks only because after a whole lot of glass, it's hard to see what's really going on, so I'm hoping that stands out for all of you. So we got another column over here just to the west of our Trident killer, and this one we're going to bring up to Y68, 1 block less, and it actually should be even with our platform over there. So if you wanted to, you could just bring it out just like that, but make sure all of these come up to Y68. All right, we've got one more location here, and this one's got to come up to Y70, so we're going to build this one up by 2 just like that. And in fact, we got to build it up right here as well. So we're going to put it on the southwest corner of that build right there. So there's north, southwest right there, because we're going to have a rail cart or minecart right there. Okay, we got some varying heights out here, and now we got to connect them all. So I'm going to use another color to do that to help show you where things need to go. So let's go ahead and start connecting them in a specific way. All right, I'm going to use white here. I'm hoping it stands out pretty good for all of you. Yeah, because we're going to have some redstone going on them. So when we come over to this magenta column over here that's at Y68, we're going to build it up just like this at an angle. And now we're going to start connecting all of our columns. So just make sure you make your way all the way out just like that. And we're going to go right through the center of these future bubble columns. So let's make our way all the way out just like that. All right, for this next one, we can start right here on the corner of our Trident killer, and we're going to start making our way out. We're going to go all the way in a straight line, all the way out to the very end. All right, we made it down to the end here, and this is another block we got to put in, and we're going to do that for each one of these column locations. So come back through here and put them in on these 4. All right, we got a very colorful build here. Let's start with the orange column over here, the northeast corner. So let's go ahead and put in our activator rail right here on that southwest corner that we were working on. Now we're going to go every other block all the way out until we get to this block right here that we placed. This will end up making a 3-block gap right here. The Guardians won't care. They'll jump forward and get caught by this one and then get caught by that one. And the reason why we're doing that is to help offset this into our Trident killer over here. But we're going to make our way all the way down just like that on this side. Okay, you made it to the end. It should be looking pretty good, just like that. Make your way back to the Trident killer, and we're going to start working on the magenta column. So we're going to start with a rail right here, and then we're going to have another rail right here. While we're working on it, let's go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, just like that. And we're going to put one right next to it. We're doing this because if we were to have this next to each other, it will change the orientation of the rail, and we just don't want that. So what we can do is 1, 2, 3, just like that, and put in our other one like that. So break those two. So we've got 1 space, 1, 1 space, and then we got another one right there. So that is going to take care of this whole line and this one right here. From here, we just go every other one all the way down. So go ahead and do that. Once you get right there, it's just the same thing all the way down. All right, once we get to the end, there's no need to put one right there. Now we need to change the orientation of these rails. So to do that, we just put in a temporary block just like this. And then you can grab a regular rail if you want, if you don't have a whole bunch of extra activator rails, and just put them in just like this. And you can see that the orientation is changed. Go ahead and break these then, because we don't need them anymore. You can see that the orientation is the way we want. So go ahead and do that for all of the rails that are associated with the green columns. Okay, looking good. And now we just need to power them up. So grab a lever, throw them on every one of these activator rails all the way down. Okay, I looped all the way around just for the green column rails, and they're all powered up. So now we're going to make our way over to the magenta rails over here. And yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. Just light that one up right there. But for these next 3, we can throw one right here on the side. These last 2, we're going to go ahead and use some glass. And I'll build this up just a little bit, just like that. And we're going to come across. So make sure it's 2 blocks above so you could just build it up by 2. And we're going to go ahead and put a lever in those 2 locations. Boom, boom. Turn them on. Because this is taking up the equivalent of this spot right here, it's able to energize that block down there, or that rail. So we're going to keep those rails in place just so as a visualization for you. Once we make our way over here, we got to go the same thing for our orange column. So build it up by 2, and we can go ahead and throw in a lever just like that to help power that one. All right, we're going to bring ourselves out to the end here. We're going to build this up. I'm going to put some glass in just so it's a little easier to see things a little later on. But we're going to go ahead and put in some glass right here. So we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, just like that. We're going to do it for each one of these locations, just like that. Make sure it's right there next to that rail. Since we finished that up, let's go ahead and grab our water bucket. Just throw in some water source right at the top of each one of these. The water in place, go ahead and we're going to go ahead and throw in some glass all the way down this line here. Make sure we're just on this side. We're doing this now in order to get our minecarts in place. So we're just going to make a straight line all the way across. Don't want to put it on top there. I think we might eventually, but right now we're just going to put it right here on the side all the way down. And then once we get to this side, you can build it out a little bit. We can put things in just like this. See, I'm just starting a line on this other side and take that one all the way down. All right, we made it to the end. Let's go ahead and throw in our minecarts before we start filling things in. Made it all the way down here. These minecarts are secure. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. This side's a little bit easier. So we're going to be able to put a line all the way down on this side and a line down on this side. So go ahead and do that. All right, with those 2 lines in place, let's go ahead and just throw in our minecarts here as well. These lines will secure our minecarts and keep them from floating off where we don't want them. Okay, you made it to the end here. Let's go ahead and grab your buttons and your water bucket. So since we're right here, go ahead and throw it right here. Don't put it any higher or it will ruin all your rails and you'll have to do it again. Come to this next one, throw your water down there, but then a button right above it, just like that. This will trick the Guardians into thinking that there's something here, but there really isn't, and they'll get grabbed by that cart. Otherwise, they'll just kind of stay right here because they won't know where to go. So we're just going to make our way to the next 2 columns. All right, let's go ahead and grab your button right here. We're going to have water that's just a little bit higher than normal. So what we're going to do is place in some blocks right here, 1, 2, 3, and then we can come over here and start building this side up just like that all the way around. Now what we can do is grab our water and throw it in right there. You can see that it's a little bit higher, and this actually helps us get our Guardians in here a lot faster. The next thing we can do then is grab some more glass and put it right there. Grab your button. You can put it right there if you want, or you can put it right there. It's the same occupied space. All right, looking good. Let's make our way back over to this green line real quick. We don't want to forget our stopping mechanism. So break that block right there. Put in a solid block right there. Put in your piston as well. You can grab another block if you want, a different color, whatever you want to do. It can still be glass if you want it to be. And put it right there. This is the one we're going to extend in and block everything. You can put a block right on top of it. You can see that this is diagonal now. And this, once this is extended, it will block all of the guardians from making their way and piling in here when we don't want them to. So we're going to do the same thing over on this side. I'm going to go ahead and put in a block right there. And then we're going to put one in right here, just kind of at an angle. We can put our last piston in just like that. And then we can grab our redstone and extend it up just like that. We don't need any more. Make sure these things don't fly out of here. Let's go ahead and grab some more of our glass or containing glass and put something in right there. Grab some more on this side as well. Fill that in. Grab your minecarts next. Put them in 1, 2, 3. Whoop. Don't want that to happen. 4, and then one more right here. Boom. So we're looking pretty good. Everything's moving and shaking. We can actually just go ahead and close this one in just like that. We'll put in some more blocks just like this. And we'll cap this whole thing off here in a little bit once we raise it up. Grab your buttons, and you can see that we need to put a button right here to fool those guardians into falling in. We need to put one right here to fool those guardians from falling in. We can go ahead and build this up now. I'll just put in some regular blocks just like that, just so I can get up here and put something in right there as well. All right, let's go ahead and grab some glass, put them in on this location, even with that rail. We can go ahead and throw in our minecart as well. You can see we're all powered up because we've got this switch in place from earlier. What we can do then is make sure that this thing is enclosed, so we can come back around, come over to this side as well. Because this minecart has the north, south, and east locations blocked, it will throw the guardians into the west location. All right, things are getting a little congested over here, but we're almost there. So we're going to enclose this, and I'm going to use some solid blocks to start just to show you what you need to do at this point. So we're going to go ahead and come off of that block and fill those in 1, 2, 3, just like that. Then we're going to do the same thing 1, 2, 3, just like that. Kind of keeps a nice enclosed area. From here, we can just build it up just like this, and then we can come across and fill that in just like that. All right, just to show you again, this time with glass, we're going to come across 1, 2, 3, just like that. 1, 2, 3, just like that. We're going to throw something in just like this. Grab your button, and we're going to put one in right here. For some reason, it makes a big difference. And then we can go ahead and bring this up one more time just like that, and then encapsulate it in that location. All right, while you're working, you might see some monsters pop up only because we haven't gotten any torches in between everything. So if you want, you can go ahead and put torches in while you're building. That will help prevent monsters from spawning on everything you're working on. We're going to go ahead and fill things in. That's right. We're going to just come across here. We need a little bit higher right here just to fill this in, just so this one can dump off. You can see that we've got things looking pretty good. It's like a nice little cave for things to get thrown into. What we can do then is build up our green lines by 1 on 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So all 4 of these need to come up by 1. Okay, we got our green lines all covered up by 1. Now we can cover up the very top of our rails with some more glass. So only glass because I want to see what's going on. Make sure you bump out just like that. Cover this stuff up. You're just going one row all the way across. So all the way down to cover up your minecarts. All right, doing some troubleshooting here. I just saw that we need to make sure we've got button in place right here. Make sure that that is in there, looking good. We're going to keep this open for right now. All right, everything's in case. That'll help keep things from bunching up and jumping out. So we're going to make our way up to this bubble column right here, and we're going to just make our way all the way up here. Boom, boom, boom. Step on up. Grab your kelp, and we're going to swim all the way down here and make our way all the way back up. We put in that dirt earlier. So that makes things a little bit easier. So let's do that for every single one of our remaining columns. When you get to these columns, you're going to have to break some glass to get in there and then dig your way down to your dirt. That way we've cleared that out, keeping things from spawning, and we'll put our kelp in right there. So keep moving on all of these spawn locations. Okay, our bubble column, our green and magenta columns have been filled with kelp. We need to grab our water. We didn't do this earlier. Go ahead and put in some water just like that, even with this minecart. And we're going to swim down here just like this as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, just to get to our dirt. Come on up here with kelp. Once we've done that to every column, we can go ahead and put in a solid block on top of it. Grab our torch and put one on top. You can slab that if you want to. When we get to the magenta one, we can bring that up with some glass just like that. We want to make sure that nothing jumps over that. So this one's a little unique. Go ahead and put a solid block on top of that and put a torch. And you can do that for each one of these green ones as well. Kelp is in place. Everything is in place. Let's do some final checks here. Let's make our way up to our AFK position, which will be right here if we want it to be. And we'll hit the switch. Let's come back down, take a look at our pistons. You can see they're extended. They're blocking the pathway in both of those routes. We're not too worried about this one because only a couple can make their way in. So yeah, it sounds like our Trident killer has been turned off. There's a Trident in there. That's very important. Let's make our way back up here. And we'll turn that redstone off, which turns the Trident killer on. These are retracted. That's looking good. I think we're ready. To do that, let's start with our bubble column here. We can just easily do this. Break your dirt. Put in a collection system here. The bubble should go all the way up now that we've got source blocks. And we can quickly test this. I like to start the furthest block away. Let's just do one at a time for this one. So let's come up to our AFK position and watch and see them spawn in. There they go. They didn't get stuck. They made their way all the way in. That's great news for us. You can see some puffs over there. That means they're getting extinguished. So let's take a look at our next one. This is the furthest one down. Let's take a look at this. Put a soul sand in right there, and we'll see that that is pushing things up. Let's make our way back up to this location. Make sure that now we've got 2 columns active, because there's only 2 positions that these things can spawn. Oh, there they go. All the way in, all the way down. This thing is operational. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and knock out that dirt and put in soul sand for the remaining ones. All right, just climbing up to the AFK position. And yeah, everything is moving. Everything looks good on both sides here. See, we don't see anything bunching up. Looks like we got some kelp jumping around in our bubble columns. But yeah, this thing is working. So let's get some XP. All right, this thing's running, and I just got rid of all my experience. And let's see it start trickling in. Sometimes it trickles in. You might see a big gap in the XP that you get, and that's okay. It's actually kind of combining just due to it getting bumped around by guardians, and whenever it gets a nice little pause, it'll release a whole bunch. So this will get you up to level 30 in about 1 minute and 30 seconds, which is pretty sweet. Yep, look at that. There's a big jump. That's what I'm talking about. So when that happens, you know the XP is still coming. It just takes a little bit to get over to you. All right, thanks everyone for joining me on the Bedrock Guide. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe so you can get that new content when it comes out. Bye.